When do you get that chance to really sit and consider and think, who am I as a human being? Why am I here? What am I bringing to this world? What is my role? What is my purpose? But also to critically examine, what do I think about the world? How do I think things work? What do I think is the fundamental nature of reality? And, actually there are lots of different perspectives on this. And so education, an educational container, gives permission to explore how we can be different in the world.
The Alef Trust supports the study of spirituality within an academic context. It's a place where people who are interested in spirituality, people who've had their own spiritual experiences, but maybe didn't find a place where they could study them or examine them in an intellectual way. It's a place where they can do that. They can find a home within the Alef Trust and they can integrate their spiritual experiences into an academic context.
I love working with the students. Students in Alef Trust come from all over the world, and we encourage them to bring in their own perspectives. So not only am I constantly engaged in this learning environment with really interesting people, but I think, by way of transformative learning and education, I myself am also engaged in the learning process. I also deeply appreciate the faculty that I work with. We're doing this because we're living it, we're doing this because we're passionate about it, and we're doing it because we all want to create some sort of change in the world, and we feel like this is one way in which we can do that, and we're more effective when we work together.
Who are you?
Who am I? Who am I? Well, my job, I'm an associate professor of psychology. I study transpersonal psychology and altered states of consciousness, all altered states, but especially psychedelic states of consciousness. But I'm also a father, an explorer, and I live in the woods. I really love being part of the Alef Trust. It's an extraordinary relief to work in an academic environment, which is not just bogged down in the constructs of business and running an academic institution. It's really about the community and the experiences and the bigger vision, exploring the full spectrum of human experience. And it's very refreshing.
Who are you?
All right, well, I'm Bethany Butzer. I'm a lecturer at the Alef Trust. I'm a researcher, so a research scientist. I'm also a lover of nature, a lover of dancing, fairies, and chocolate. I've worked at many different kinds of academic institutions, really top universities. I worked at Harvard Medical School, and Alef Trust actually has the most rigorous marking procedures that I've experienced at any university. Student assignments are checked, double-checked, moderated. We go through a very intense and rigorous process to make sure that we're being fair, but that we're also being robust in terms of the ways that we grade students. It's a Master's of Science, and it has to be rigorous, and we have really great faculty who put a lot of work into the content that we create and also the way that we grade assignments.
We are more than blood, bones, and brain. There's an inner world to us, and once we connect with that, we have an opportunity to connect with our environment and with other people. We are yearning for something deeper, something beyond the superficial. And if we take that line of inquiry, we will find that there is a language for this search for this experience. There is a field, there is a career waiting for you. There's research to be done. If you'd like to actually turn this journey that probably started for individual inquiry and turn it into your life's work in service of others and the world.
The Alef Trust is a really important initiative in enabling people with an interest in transpersonal psychology to develop their critical thinking skills, but also to contribute to the research base, to help us better understand a range of experiences and abilities and capacities that are fundamentally part of what it is to be a conscious human being.
I would say that, and it's not an exaggeration, I think my life changed after the Masters. I came into the Masters when I was already a whole lot of body of work behind me as a filmmaker, and in my teaching practice in an art and design college, teaching for 12 years. So you know, I'm in the midstream or much later. But I certainly feel that doing the Masters with Alef completely changed in the way that now I could articulate all those things that I had been thinking about and feeling in a way that others would listen to me with a lot more respect than they probably did before. I think Alef gave that language and gave me that confidence to be able to incorporate that into my day-to-day life and to be proud of it.
I've been thinking about doing a PhD for about the last 30 years. But when I've spoken to universities, I go over there with a big idea, and by the time I've spoken to them, it's a little idea and I've lost interest. For me, doing a PhD with the Alef Trust recognise a more holistic way that things are interconnected, so they're not just narrowing me down. There's so much on offer, so many talks and courses that you can go on, networking events. I feel like I'm a child in a sweet shop now. I just want everything. So now my second and third year, I'm focusing on my research, but that first year was just amazing.
I would say if you want to up your game, this is a course for you. If you have the capacity for independent study, you have to have some level of maturity to do this course. I would also add that you're going to meet a family. You're going to meet a tribe, a spiritual community of kindred souls that will definitely support you. So you're going to expand much more. You're going to be a different person at the end of the 3 years. You're going to be a different person.
I kind of stumbled across the Alef Trust some years ago, and it was like I had an aha moment, like, oh, that's it. That's what I've been looking for, something that allows me to kind of study more spiritual practices, but within an academic framework, so there's some grounding to it. I was really questioning then some of the spiritual practices and my beliefs about things. It was a kind of huge personal transformational journey.
Who are you?
At the core, this is the mystery of being. Who are you? Who am I? Our worlds are much larger than the personal that we inhabit. There are aspects to our minds, our experience, which do transcend our normal sense of personality. And these are not experiences that we can kind of put to one side and say, oh, well, that was a bit odd. These are experiences that are hugely formative. They change people's lives, and they motivate people to go out into the world and to act from a place of caring and love. So we need to look at these experiences. We need to understand them. I think the most important aspect of the future of the Alef Trust, yes, to build a particular path in education, but also to engage with the world.
Many people in our community want to take the ideas of transpersonal psychology, integral psychology, and put them into action in the world. But often they're on their own there, they don't have a lot of support. So we created Nurturing the Fields of Change as a community of practice where people can sit in circle, share their experiences of application, of bringing these things out into the world. It's a program that has some content, so we're drawing on different models of change facilitation. We're integrating guest speakers who come and do sessions with us. But really, in the main, it's a place for inquiry, for sitting with the big questions of our time, and for acknowledging and holding the uncertainty that we're all feeling, so that we get more comfortable with not knowing.
Well, I've really come to Alef Trust not from the academic side, but from a practitioner side. I've spent 16, 17 years working in permaculture, so designing systems that are based on natural principles and patterns. I'm interested in real world solutions, but with this depth that Alef bring. There aren't many places in the world like Alef, where they're offering the kind of range of courses and also professional certifications. You get to engage on a course that allows you then to move out into the world and is actually actively inviting you to let the rubber hit the road.
For me, it was not only studies and acquiring knowledge. For me, being at the Alef Trust was such a profound, transformative journey. You can be scientific and you can be spiritual at the same time. You don't have to choose.